All right, this is Les Snead and Sean McVay in their press conference right after they made the historic trade with the Atlanta Falcons to pick up a additional first-round pick next year. They did trade back to get a second-round pick this year, but they've traded out of the first rounds, and this is their press conference. I'm going to react to a couple things they said here. It's pretty interesting.
At one was moved back, and that's and within that, you have to have. It's not the same player, right? So, and we felt like the draft was going to go that way a little bit. There was a lot of people that were attempting to move down, so we were thinking, okay, maybe we could move up depending on who was there.
Interesting.
And then there was a stay pat, and then through it all, we always really discussed would there be an opportunity to move back based on being close to the late, whatever you call it, late first, close.
So I don't know what actual question was asked here because the Los Angeles Rams press conference video and audio didn't start till after they had started. But yeah, this is interesting hearing Les Snead talk about how they were potentially going to move up. There were, lots of other teams that were looking to move down, but let's continue to listen in.
Close to the second. A lot of times that's a good place to be if you want to trade back. That's what we did, and we thought the value. We had a lot of offers, but Atlanta's value was best for us.
Yeah. I bet you there was no other team offering an additional first-round pick, and so they got a first-round pick, a second-round pick, and a seventh-round pick. And they traded away a third and a first this year. But yeah, I really like the value that the Rams got with that trade.
There's been a lot of emphasis that this draft is being kind of flat. Is that kind of how this goes?
What I've often said is this is a draft with good football players in it.
Oh,
so I think it's a draft that's kind of got punched. Not a lot of wow.
Okay.
I would predict that in a few years you'd look back and a lot of these players who have been picked are going to end up being successful contributors for an NFL team.
That's a really interesting perspective for a GM to say openly after the first round. I don't know if you actually believe it or if it's a smoke screen. That's all. Keep that note, right? Because this is after the first round. There's still round 2, 3, and the rest of the draft to go.
I think the biggest thing too is there's a lot of appreciation for, let's just say, your top 100 players, and there's maybe not as big of a discrepancy between those guys that are in that top 15 to those guys that are maybe in our 85 to 100. So I think Les and his group, our coaches working in collaboration, there's a lot of appreciation for a lot of players that'll be pulled off the board tomorrow and in the early parts of Saturday. And so I think looking at where our team is overall, the value that we were able to get to be able to move back just 20 spots felt like it was too good to be able to pass up, and we're going to come away with some good football players tomorrow for sure.
Yeah. Okay, Coach. Okay. McVay affirming the move. Don't they just seem so happy? They just seem like they're like, yeah, that was a good day of work.
20 spots to get a number one next year. Would that be overwhelmingly why I would like to do this? Yeah.
What do you think?
I wasn't ready to go. Okay.
That's what the charts say, dude. But again, having a one next year, that doesn't. You gotta have someone that really wants to, come up to give up that type of pick. And again, there was multiple teams that wanted to come either up from later behind us in the first round and even in the second round. It's just the Falcons wanted Mr. Pierce a little more than they wanted whomever they were coming up for.
Interesting.
You know that going in?
No, we're probably wasn't expecting a one. There.
Oh, Les's face there. Yeah, probably wasn't expecting a one.
Based on the QBs of this draft, there was some scenarios where he said, okay, maybe a QB falls in a team. If they really like that QB, would give you a next year one. Usually it is for a QB.
Yeah.
So we ran through that scenario, but you can't plan for that one.
What's it like to see James and Jacksonville kind of take your pick strategy and trade up the
You know what? I can say this. You only live once. Don't be scared.
Oh.
You only got one life. make sure you're not scared while you're living it.
Okay.
So you know what? James living his best life tonight.
Okay, so they're talking about James Gladstone with the Jaguars making his big trade there. But Les Snead, you only live once, YOLO.
Go get him, James.
right.
Did you guys make any attempt to move up
Gary's asked.
to try and
Did they
get someone
attempt to trade up?
a particular player?
Were unsuccessful.
The answer is yes,
Okay.
but it was really for no particular player. We just wanted to get up and see how the board fell. Nah, we did make try to move back, but it would. The value going up there, teams were asking too much or more than we would give.
Okay. I appreciate that insight. I think that's authentic. I appreciate that answer. They tried to trade up, but they didn't like the value that they would have had to give up. I like it.
When you look at the top, second, and into like the meat pick, what are a couple of clusters that have stood out to you for player wise about?
Wow,
You know we're
Lord.
not answering that.
I'm not exactly sure what. I think that was Jordan Rodriguez asking that. I'm not exactly sure what she asked, but I love this reaction of it was clearly something they don't want to respond to.
Jordan, I'll text you.
I appreciate the
I'm gonna
attempt
run
there,
a.
though. I like
I'm
what
gonna
guys
text you
did
our
right
board. I'll
there.
take a picture of our board and text it to you, as long as it's between us. But I can't. We did talk about strategies. Okay, if we do move back, right? We do have some players in mind, and what we'll go is once this is over, we'll go see how this first round ended, and then you're going to have to run through your scenarios,
Right.
Because we have about I think 14 picks before our next one. So, but we have specific players in mind.
I think the good thing too is there wasn't, not necessarily the exact order, but there wasn't a lot of surprises in regards to who you think's going to go in those first 25 picks. This was always a scenario, unless there was specific things that go up that you probably are saying you're going to go back. And we felt like going into it, talking even this morning, this was going to be the most likely scenario where we probably weren't going to pick tonight.
That's really interesting that they actively were looking for opportunities to not pick tonight.
And for it to come to fruition and for us to be able to get the value back, ended up being better than we anticipated. But I think,
I love that. I love that.
you look at it, and obviously the Falcons had a real appreciation for who they were coming up, and that's what's so unique about the draft. No different than us really wanting to go up for Fisk last year. Those point charts, those things are out the window when you have a real appreciation for a player, and and they clearly had that, and so kind of the
Well said, Coach McVay. Well said.
it aligned for us, and Tony did a really good job of being able to communicate with them throughout, even a handful of picks ahead.
So it's just commenting that they went 7 years without a first round pick, that they had one. Now next year they have 2 first round picks.
For now, we do. For now.
Oh, Sean's gonna get impatient in the morning. We're gonna scream back up and give.
All right. Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Oh man, love Les Snead, love Sean McVay, 2 of the best in the business doing what they're doing. That was a great first night. I love what the Rams did. Would have been nice to get Campbell or a key contributor, but obviously in their draft board there's players that they still like there, and they saw the value that the Falcons trade offered. I'm okay with it. I'm actually I think A+. I know draft grades really don't matter until retrospect kicks in, but A+ from the Rams radar here. Let me know your thoughts on the move, and I'll be back with another Rams video when the Rams do something on day 2 of the draft. Thanks for watching, everyone. Like and subscribe.